Good evening. Welcome to Nurse Talk. For this episode, I have my friend Camille Tito, who is our Director for Recruitment and Licensing. Camille, kumusta na?
Hi, Mona. I'm all good. How are you?
I'm good. So you traveled from New Jersey,
Yeah, I
right?
just flew in this afternoon and then went straight here.
Yes,
How are
yes.
you?
Yeah, doing good. We also flew in from Texas early this morning, and it's really great to be here in San Diego.
With
Thank you to
everyone.
Mike's family for their hospitality. We're really very grateful to be here and to be able to record this episode of Nurse Talk.
Of course.
This is on behalf of Nurse Mike and Attorney Carmen. Okay, so Camille, let's just start with your process.
Yeah.
So if I'm a nurse and I am interested in being a part of Green Door Placement, what should I do?
Well, first of all, you have to send in your resume to our email address at info@greendoorplacement.com or to my email address, camille@greendoorplacement.com. You can also see us at Facebook, Instagram, on our website, www.greendoorplacement.com, and other job postings, for example, via Indeed. Once you send in your resume, I will be able to send in a checklist of requirements for you to complete as well as a questionnaire. And then once you send it back to me, I will be able to evaluate the credentials and the qualifications, most especially your NCLEX passing scores, your IELTS, your visa screen, and the most important requirement of all is the USRN license.
Yes. Yes, I've been working with Camille now for several months, and I'm just in awe of her expertise from credentialing and licensing perspective. Even if you're licensed in one state and our current employers are located in California, she can actually work with you to be able to endorse your license to the state where our employers are located. So she's really good at what she does.
Thanks, Mona.
Thanks. And I love working with Camille, actually. She and I work very closely because what's that process, Camille, when you're ready to send the nurse candidate to me?
Okay, so after you send in your requirements and I will be able to see that you are ready for the next step, I will be endorsing you to Mona for further interview so that she can evaluate your qualifications, your work experience, and be able to match you with an employer. So, Mona, can you explain to our viewers the steps that you will be doing for this interview?
Yes, thank you, Camille. So basically, once Camille reviews all your documents and determines that you're ready, she will endorse your documents to me and introduces you to me via email. As the nurse consultant for Green Door Placement, my role is to be able to get to know you more, understand your work history, understand your personality, what your career aspirations are. Because my end goal after meeting with you is to be able to match you with the right employer. At Green Door Placement, we're really very happy to share with you that we want this to be a win-win situation, not just for our employers, but especially for you, our nurse candidates. We want you to be happy. We want you to be able to really enjoy and find a good fit with the employer. So once Camille endorses you to me, I would send you an email. I would schedule a time for a 30-minute interview. It's usually a video call. So we would use Microsoft Teams or Zoom, whatever works best for you. I usually do this in the evenings because that's when it's nighttime here in the US, it's daytime in the Philippines. Or I also try to make myself available during the weekends if that is the only availability for our nurse candidates. And so I've also spoken with nurses who are based in the Middle East. So I've been really working hard to understand time zones. And I think that's the learning curve for me. And I'm just glad that my husband, Jerry, has been very helpful when it comes to time zones. So far, I have been able to meet and speak one-on-one with our nurse candidates. I know each of our nurse candidates. I have met them. I understand what their career aspirations are. I understand where they're at in the process, what their uh, timeline is in terms of passing the IELTS, processing their visa screen. And then if there are any questions that are posed during my interview that are related to the immigration process, to the lice endorsement process, I would include Camille and Attorney Carmen so that they can provide that information to the candidate. The beauty of Green Door placement is we actually have an in-house immigration attorney. We have an expert licensing and credentialing point person, that is Camille. And so we're able to provide you with the answers immediately. So that actually helps speed up the process. So once I complete that interview, I would send you a summary email with next steps. And then Attorney Carmen would be sending you the Green Door commitment letter and also our Green Door branded resume. The Green Door branded resume is the resume that we present to potential employers. Our current employers are located in California, Southern California, and the immediate need is currently with medical surgical nurses and behavioral health unit nurses. Now, the question that I'm usually asked is, I don't have med-surg experience, I don't have behavioral health experience. And so I would work with the candidate and be able to determine what their qualities are, what their attributes are, and usually you have transferable skills. And I would guide that candidate and also let them know that the employer is willing to provide them with the right amount of orientation so that they can they can provide safe practice to our patients and also get adjusted. You're going to work in a new country, you're going to work in a new area, you're going to be working with new people, right?
Different kinds of people.
Yes, a lot of adjustment on your part. So they do understand that it takes time and they are usually able to work with us in terms of providing you with a good onboarding experience. So once that's done, we would schedule the employer to review the
interview.
resumes.
Yes.
Yes. So again, Camille comes back to the process. You want to talk about that, Camille?
Yeah, of course. So after Mona endorses you or basically presents you to our employer, I'll be having a word with Mona as to when the employer is available for an interview with the nurse. I will be communicating with you guys with regards to a schedule for the employer. So this will be a video call interview via Zoom or Microsoft Teams, whichever is more convenient for both parties. And then, so the employer will be conducting the interview. After we do the interview with the employer, we will be in contact with the employer, getting their feedbacks, and then we'll be sending you another email, most probably after a week from that, right?
A week or two.
Yes, a week or two from that.
Yes. And then once the employer conducts the interview, and also know that if you need to prep for the interview, you can always reach out to me. I would send you an email, or if we have time, we can schedule another video call for me to be able to prep you for the actual interview. Once the interview is done, the employer will let us know if they are going to offer you unemployment. So the job offer works both ways. The employer presents the job offer to you as the nurse applicant, and then you as the nurse applicant will review the offer and then accept. Once you accept the offer, or if you have any questions, certainly we can address those questions with the employer. And once you are amenable to the answers that the employer provides, you go to the next step, and that next step would be Attorney Carmen
Yes.
processing
Yes,
your
that's a legal
immigration
processing
papers.
already.
Yes, yes,
So,
which is the exciting part.
yes,
I
that's
think.
the start for your American dream, I can
Yes.
say.
Yes. And usually, it takes about 12 to 16 months for visa processing. Attorney Carmen has done this for a very long time, 30 years actually of immigration experience, and she is able to facilitate visa processing. Of course, there are certain limitations when it comes to the agencies that we're working with. However, she is very knowledgeable, and we will do our best to make sure that we're able to bring you here to the US within 12 months, 12 to 14 months. And once you get here, we will be orienting you, onboarding you for about 30 days. We want to make sure that you get acclimated to your new environment. And we also want to make sure that we prepare you for the actual deployment with the employer. Once we deploy you with the employer, know that your relationship with Grindor is a lifetime.
It does not end.
It doesn't end. So you're
yeah.
part of the Grindor family. Your success is our success. And also remember that this journey is not just your journey. It's a journey that you will share with other future nurse immigrants. So how you present yourself, how you meet the requirements of your employment agreement, will really determine the future of other nurse immigrants. So know that you are part of the Grindor family, and know that we are here to support you every step of the way.
So I want to ask Mona. So you mentioned earlier that when they get here, we will be doing a training with them, right, for 30 days. So that is different from the training that they will be doing with the employer?
Yes, yes. So the 30-day onboarding is actually Grindor's onboarding.
Yeah.
And then when they are finally deployed to the employer, typically the industry standard is 6 weeks orientation. But depending on the department and also the clinical experience of the nurse, our employer partners are actually willing and have really expressed their intention to adjust that orientation process to make sure that our nurse candidates are competent and comfortable with their new roles.
That's good. So you're saying that before they really get into the floor and, with their employer, they're kind of acclimated already with the environment here, with the new, people around them. That's good.
It takes a while, really, and again, that's where the attributes that we're looking for when I'm talking to the nurses. I'm looking for certain attributes that would help our nurses adjust
Yes.
in a new environment. And so, you may be a very smart nurse, you've passed all your exams, but then during that one-on-one interview, I may pick up on certain things where I can see that you may not be very open to learning new things, or you may not have the confidence that we're looking for. So then that to me would be an opportunity to guide you as a nurse candidate. And also when I'm doing the employer match, I will be very sensitive to what department or area you will be successful in.
That's good. That's good to know. I have one more question. When you match them with an employer already and they do the interview, but then they feel like they're not comfortable with the employer, or they want to try a different employer, are we open for that?
Yes. However, know that the immediate need of the employers, like the ones that we're working with in Southern California, that's an immediate need. So the sooner that we can help place nurses for this immediate need nursing roles, the better. However, when we do have those situations,
Yes.
we will work with our nurse candidates, and as much as possible, we want to be able to be proactive. We want to make the right decision during that nurse candidate interview with
Yes.
me, because it would be better from a timeline perspective, both for the nurse candidate and also for the employer, because we will not be going back on that process.
Yeah, that's good to know.
Yes, Camille, you mentioned that you've been getting a lot of interest from nurses. Can you share with us a certain platform that is more popular than others? Like, I would usually ask nurse candidates who reach out to me, how did you learn about Green Door? How did you learn about us? Have you noticed a certain platform that is more popular with our nurse candidates?
Wait, what was the question?
Like Facebook or...
Oh yeah. So most of the inquiries that we're getting, it's either via Facebook or our website. I do receive a lot of inquiries from the contact us portion of our website. And actually, there's also a lot from word of mouth. You know, for example, a cousin of this person or the niece of this person, and then they just saw us on Facebook. So I think a social media is a huge platform for us, especially with this generation that everybody is on social media. Yeah.
Yes, and I know you mentioned it earlier. Did you want to invite them to join us on our Facebook page?
Yes, of course. So we do have a Facebook page. It's Green Door Placement. And we also have a private Facebook group. So it's also Green Door Placement. We do post videos, news, and articles. We'll be posting articles also soon. We're going to be posting a lot of more informational stuff online. So I do suggest that you join our private group because we will be posting everything there first for for our for our contents.
Yes, and I think we also have YouTube and Spotify.
We recently launched
Yes.
our Spotify.
Yes, that's exciting.
I know, I know. So this podcast, this video, you can also hear this from Spotify.
So that's Spotify, Nurse Talk with Nurse
Attorney
Mike,
Carmen
Attorney
and
Attorney
Nurse
Carmen.
Mike.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll be posting the link here. So, Dr. Mona, when you decided that you want to go here, what were the steps that you went through or the process?
Yeah, thank you, Camille. As you know, we're in the process of moving. I actually found my documents from 17 years ago. Yes, and I saw that there was a lot of difference with our process with Green Door. So during my time, I actually had all my exams completed, and I work with a recruitment agency that also had connections here in the U.S. At the time, my cousin was working as a nurse in New Jersey, and I also have a professor who is based in New Jersey and knows the nurse recruiter. And as you mentioned earlier, you know, word of mouth is very important.
Yes.
So my professor and my cousin have worked with this agency, and so they knew its reputation. So I came here January of 2004. And basically, after 2 months, my family followed because it was a family-based immigrant visa. And I think what was different comparing our process with Green Door now is we didn't really have that personal connection, like what you're doing. You
Yeah.
know, you're talking to our
We get
candidates.
to, talk to them,
You're
call
answering
them,
their
video
questions.
calls.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And then the part where I have my one-on-one calls with them, the video calls. Technology, I think, also made a difference because now we have our Zoom and our Microsoft Teams platforms. All this really allows us to have a better connection, personal connection with our nurse candidates. And I think that just helps with the process. Um, if I look back, 17 years earlier, I would have lost focus because there was really no one who was following up. It was just
Are you
me.
saying it's
Yes.
kind of like a formal, okay, you're gonna
Yes.
submit this document,
Yes.
do the interview, and then just wait for everything?
Yes, yes, yes. In fact, during my time, there was already a delay
Yeah.
with the processing of visas. I think I even forgot about it. And then here comes the National Visa Center documents that, I have my priority date. And
You
then,
didn't expect it.
yes, I wasn't expecting it. So everything happened so fast. But then when I got here, already started with the employer. I think what was also helpful was, I had my family in New Jersey. And so it just so happened that the weather did not cooperate. So we moved to Texas.
But I love the weather in Jersey.
Yeah, you're based in New Jersey. You're right. You're
So I'm
right.
biased with the weather there.
You're right. Yes, yes. Based on my nurse candidate interviews, I've noticed that a lot of our Filipino nurses are currently applying with limited clinical experience. And so that usually is a barrier. And during my conversations with our nurse candidates, I actually encourage them and remind them that the visa processing takes about 12 to 14 months. And during that time, they can use that as an opportunity to volunteer or look for temporary clinical work and then brush up on their clinical skills, having
Get
access to the
get
internet.
additional
Yes.
knowledge.
Yes, and there's a lot of reputable sites like the American Nurses Association, the state boards of nursing, and then the professional organizations here in the U.S. And then also, a lot of our nurse candidates work as utilization review nurses. And again, when I look at that, that's actually a plus. That's an advantage. Why do I say that that's an advantage? It is because you are already familiar with the U.S. healthcare system. You understand the standard of care and you understand what the CMS is looking for. So if you're working as a utilization review nurse, contact us. Let us know because we know that you're already NCLEX passers. Camille and I, we will be able to help you. And if your dream is to come to the US and work here, we can make that a reality.
Yes, of course. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to everyone. I learned a lot thanks to you, Mona. And I hope like our viewers also learned a lot. So this is not only for us, but this is for everyone also, for the nurses. And I do hope that, you don't wait for the right time because today is the right time. Now is the right time. So what can you say to our viewers?
Yes, I echo Camille's closing comments. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Nurse Talk. I really enjoyed it. Camille and I work closely together. And so we hope that you will take the first step of joining Green Door Placement through our Facebook page and also our website. We have a lot of information to share with you, and we need nurses, and we are always proud of our Filipino nurses.
Yes.
In fact, our international nurses, we are all immigrants at Green Door Placement, and we want to be able to share the benefits of working and living in the US. Make your dreams come true, and we are here to help you every step of the way. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.